And hello, everyone. We are talking to Jaime Aguilar from Del Rio, Texas. I talked to him, I believe it was in the summertime we talked. And you live near the border or you're in Del Rio, Texas. How far are you, like right now, where you're sitting from the actual border?
Yes, I live Del Rio, Texas. It's directly on the border. Physically here where I'm at right now, maybe about 4 miles from the border, about 3 or 4 miles.
Wow. Wow. When we talked at the time, I know things had gotten better, had gotten worse. Over the last month, though, it I'm seeing other the video and the pictures. And for people who don't live down there, they really don't know what it's like. What has it been recently for you, your friends, or others that you talk to who do live there? What's it like?
Well, it's. I think the last time we talked, I said it was out of control. It's still
Yeah.
out of control, but to a different magnitude. Just to give you some of the stuff we're seeing here as far as numbers. So 300,000 are expected in this month alone, in December. Specifically, December 8th, we had 14,000 apprehended. December 6th, 2 days prior, we had 10,000. And this does not include the known and unknown gotaways. So who knows, that number, is much higher. In November, we had 242,000 apprehended. These are numbers that we have never seen before. We're breaking record after record after record, and the record is not from 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's from the month before, the week before. Um, we're I mentioned earlier, it's not that we don't have a heart. We do see the faces of these migrants, especially family members. But when you start seeing uh, mostly single males, um, aggressive, demanding, I mean, that raises a concern. As a matter of fact, the police department issued here a few weeks ago a press release. Basic security, keep mind of your surroundings, don't carry valuables, and this is what it is. In our sister city, about 60 miles down the border, Eagle Pass, they're seeing right now a number that's astronomical too, and we are screaming at the top of our lungs here, those of us that live here, to the rest of the country about what's happening here, and it falls mainly on deaf ears. They either deny which I am seeing and we are seeing here with our own eyes. They're asking us to deny what's happening, or they minimize. In an online debate a couple of days ago, I was accused of being xenophobic.
Yeah, this is, and let me bring up a video here because I think there is, I mean, more individuals on the way, but they have these things called the caravans. And this is what a large group of people with a very right here. I'm not sure exactly where this is at, but they're making their way to the southern border. And
That's
this is,
in that's in South Mexico right now. It's making its way up north, and right as of the last word I heard, it was I believe 8,000 strong. But of course, it'll pick up steam now. Um, when you see something like that, uh, what I'm hearing now, I confirm this. What I'm hearing is that there's routes where they walk for the visual effect, and then they get picked up by buses along other routes. So these caravans are massive. They're very well funded and coordinated. So again, that brings the question: well, who's coordinating this? Who's funding this, right? Um,
yeah.
and yeah, so I mean, the situation here with regards to the numbers that we're seeing are
Well,
just
that
astronomical.
that makes sense. You're saying that these all these 9,000, whatever, how many thousands are in this video right here, they didn't randomly just gather as a whole. And you're saying there has to be someone either organizing or funding or some sort of, I don't want to call it leadership, but something to 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 fund this, literally, right? I mean, it's just not
Yes,
randomly happening.
yeah. Well, I mean, some of the names are under the guise of humanitarian, but it still costs an exorbitant amount to be funding and coordinating this. And so, of course, people from all over the world hear this, and more come.
Yeah, and the message is what? You probably talk to many people. The message is I know the Biden administration now says that the border is closed, but I think you know that that's not the case, and that's probably not the message they're hearing, right?
Well, the Biden administration says the border is closed. Wink, wink. Of course, most of us, all of us living here know it's a different um, case. I mean, like I said, people from up north, they have no clue, honestly, what's happening here. A couple of days ago, probably more than a couple, maybe about 3 or 4 days ago. So Border Patrol has checkpoints along the highways, right? If you want to travel, for example, from here to San Antonio, um, maybe about 40, 50 miles down the road, there's a Border Patrol checkpoint. Well, those have to close down because when you get these massive surges that we're seeing here and in Eagle Pass, they literally have to pull agents from the field to help with processing because you see what happens is when they come, one of the first words out of their mouth is asylum. Now, whether it's a legitimate claim or not, by law they have to process, right?
Oh,
Um, and so that they have to literally pull agents out of the field to come into these camps to help with processing. So that leaves hundreds of miles of border unprotected.
and they
And
know this. They know this.
they know this. Well, as a matter of fact, what we're hearing here is that the cartels coordinate this. They coordinate this. That they flood an area with illegal immigrants, and they tell them, they coach them, say claim asylum. So as the border patrol, because they know the protocols, as border patrol is pulled out, agents are pulled out of the field to come to this camp here. These hundreds of miles of unprotected land, who knows what crosses through there? and
Wow.
and so I mean, you can only imagine, right? Um, and so again, when I explain this, I express this to people up north, they have absolutely no clue what a massive, now forget how you feel on the illegal immigration subject. They have no clue and understanding of how massive a national security concern that is. And let me just tell you one thing. Did you see that um, that report about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where the Mexican government discovered IEDs along the border?
I did hear that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
now think
another.
about that. Now just think about that. Hundreds of miles of unprotected border, IEDs near the border on the Mexican side. What else is crossing through there?
Well, in I forget our attorney general in or the United States, they've had to admit in certain public um, meetings with the Congress that yes, this is creating a terror risk as well. But then I want to show you something on the screen that just surprised me today because you're in Texas right now, and this is Film Illusion. He tweeted this saying the Department of Justice is threatening to sue Texas if it moves forward with its strict border security laws. So I want to stop there. The governor or the Texas implemented what? Something that will allow them to arrest individuals who are illegal and remove them, or what is the new law that's could go into place?
Now, from what my understanding is, okay, if you're here illegally, it's illegal, so you go to jail,
Yeah.
and so now local police officers have that at their discretion. And the thing is, our governor has tried everything. He's tried, sending in
Yeah.
the state national guard. We have DPS troopers here, with these high speed chases, helping out with these high speed chases,
Yeah.
and nothing's worked.
This
All that.
just
As a matter of
doesn't.
fact,
Sorry. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, as a matter of fact, depending what their authority is, when the National Guard was here, they were actually helping, transportation and processing. So that's made the situation worse. And I think that the governor is just desperate, which reflects the attitudes of a lot of us that live here, because we're here, we're seeing this affecting us directly, and explaining to the rest of the country that it's going to affect you either directly or indirectly at some point. We're screaming at the top of our lungs, but it falls on deaf ears. And that not only the DOJ, there's the ACLU type of component too, that is saying about how racist it is, how xenophobic it is, but they're not seeing it, and have no clue what is actually happening here.
Yeah, so when I read this to you, it just doesn't, this has to make you and everyone else upset because, so according to Bill Malhusian, the Department of Justice is threatening to sue Texas if it basically wants to arrest and deport anyone who crosses into Texas illegally. So that probably just makes you think, what is going on? Is the US government, are they not on your side? I don't, it just doesn't seem
And
to make sense. Do people just shake their head when they see this kind of stuff?
I hate to say this, Dave, but honestly, this doesn't surprise us because here we are going on 3 years now, and nothing's been done.
Yeah.
And so a report like this doesn't surprise me.
Wow. One more thing before I let you go, and I'm going to plan on making it down to visit you in the area down there in 2024. But you said last time we talked, the people across the United States would start to see the impact. You were 100% correct. Here in Michigan, we're getting gangs who have crossed in illegally, breaking into high-end homes. Chicago, the people there are upset. Democrats are speaking out against the mayor. Today, the mayor of Chicago was pleading with the Biden administration. So you were right. I mean, people, average Americans now, all across the country are seeing it. And I'm sad to say it came true, but you saw it coming. And is it, I don't want to say it's good that they're seeing it, but it's, I mean, it's real and it's impacting everyone. You said it would happen.
Well, the mayor of Eagle Pass, like I said, the city 50, 60 miles down the road, he's a Democrat, uh, and he, some very strong and direct words. He said that the Biden administration has abandoned us and doesn't care for our safety or national security. Democrat, and what I'm seeing here, that a lot of my friends who vote Democrat are not going to vote Democrat, and maybe I don't know. Maybe that's the reason for so what's being done as lip service now. But the FBI director, he himself has expressed, before Congress recently, about the danger of having a border in the situation that it is right now. National security concerns,
Yeah.
and um, I wish, like I said, a lot of it we're really frustrated, but Dave, when you talk to someone that actually works on the front line with the border patrol, they are exhausted. They are exhausted beyond measure. They have families. Their families are exhausted. Their families are concerned, um, and there is just nothing that on a quantitative scale that the government is doing to make this issue better. No, they point fingers at the Republicans, but the fact is nothing's getting done. And now, the Mayorkas, I'm sorry, not Mayorkas, the uh, Secretary of State Blinken was in Mexico, and so out of that whole meeting, basically what they said is, well, we're going to see the root causes of this, the root cause, right? Um, and so if and when they resolve the root cause at a tremendous amount of American taxpayer resources, 5 or 10 years down the road, is it going to even matter?
Yeah, and the thing is now people, if they didn't believe you before, they believe you now. The people in Chicago, New York, Michigan, Detroit suburbs, they're starting to feel it. And if this continues, you had said to me earlier, they're only going to continue to feel it because if nothing changes, it's going to continue to impact almost every state in this country.
And when you're seeing what we're seeing here, it's just not rational. So I I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but this is almost intentional. And so then what is the intent? And that really alarms me. It alarms people like us that are seeing these things firsthand. And
Yeah.
and um, yeah, I just I wish I was optimistic about this, but I'm not, because when you've been seeing this for the past 3 years, and rather the government, rather than work for us regarding our safety, our concerns. It's not, and so I guess,
Well,
but in a sense, when the people up north start seeing this firsthand, maybe it'll start to sway the argument.
I think we've seen it has with many people, and that's why I'm going to continue to do this and check in with you. And I need to go down there myself and do some video, and hopefully I can meet you and meet some of your friends, and hopefully you can show me around. And because that's how I think people away from there need to understand everyone, and that's why I really appreciate you taking the time.
My honor. Yeah, we would definitely like to have you here because the mainstream media, and you're doing a great service, David, because the mainstream media uh, minimizes this, doesn't cover it, or they cover it from a slant that doesn't show what is really happening down here. And
Yeah, there's a couple good ones. I'm friends with Allie Bradley. She used to be an independent. There's a couple good ones, but overall, the nightly news, they're not showing what like what you're saying. You're not seeing it. So and that's unfortunate. Maybe that'll change too as more Americans demand this. But I just want to thank you, and everyone is praying for you, and hopefully things in the new year will change.
hopefully.